Guys, so this is the third video. In this video, we're gonna go over the drawings, right? So remember, you guys will need sections, elevations, plans, and then an axonometric. So the first thing we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna start setting up the layers that you guys will need. Okay, so just to recap, just to go back and really understand how this works, right? So, how the grid and everything works, right? So we have a cube that it's divided into one, two, three segments horizontally, and then, well, not in my case, but in your case, well, in some of your cases, you guys are gonna have uh divisions vertically. Again, three segments, one right here, one in the middle, and then one on the right. Okay. So, the cube is divided in three segments horizontally and vertically, right? So that means that if I see this guy right here from the top view, right, I have four layers of information. The first one, which is going to be the closest one from you, right? The top one, and then the one below, that's gonna be the second layer of information, then the third layer, and four. So we have four segments. I mean, we have the cube divided into three segments with four pieces of information, right? The same thing applies vertically, right? So we have, again, it's not in my cube, but in some of your cubes, you guys are gonna have vertical members, right? Vertical yeah, vertical members. So it's gonna be same thing, the same thing. It's gonna apply to the vertical part. So three segments, vertical, and then if this is my front view, this guy right here is my front view. We have one layer of information, then we have the second one, third one, and then the fourth one. So having said that, we're gonna start creating layers and sub layers. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do, remember, you guys need to be very organized in the way you guys work with this. Just to make it easier for you guys whenever you guys are producing the laser cut files and everything. This is gonna make everything so much easier for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this guy right here. So my perspective, I'm gonna go to my top view. Then I'm just gonna move it closer to the origin point, which is this guy right here, where these two, where the the red and the green lines meet. So I'm just gonna move it closer there. So again, the first drawing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my elevation. So elevation, okay? So again, remember, remember what we said. We have, I'm gonna do my front elevation. This is up to you what elevations you guys wanna do, okay? So just one more thing, guys, before we go any further. As you guys can see in my perspective, I can see the solids, right? The solid pieces. But right here, we only see the lines. That's because we need to change the view. So we click on this arrow, shaded, and that's gonna give you the um the shaded view. That way you guys are gonna see solids instead of just lines or wireframes. So shaded. Perfect. So elevations. Now again, I'm gonna redo this just so you guys know how to do it. So we're gonna click right here, new layer. I'm gonna rename it. I'm gonna name it elevation or elevations. Then I'm gonna go ahead and click that layer and then click right here. I want sub layer. So I want one, two, three, and four just in case. Why? Remember, we have four layers of information. Remember, one, two, three, and four. Same thing horizontally, one, two, three, and four, right? Or you guys can see it right here, right? One, two, three, and four pieces of information. layers, 1, 2, 3, and 4 layers of information. Okay, so this is gonna be layer 1. Yeah, we can just leave it like that. Let me just move this up by clicking on this little arrow right here, just to have them in order. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and change the color. So red, maybe, I don't know, green. Let's do another one, blue, and then the last one, I'm gonna do it magenta. Okay, so once we have that, we can start working on this. Okay, so double click on the elevations layer. Um, so again, guys, if you guys wanna do, you guys can do pretty much any view or any elevation that you guys want. So you guys can do front, back, right, or left. The top view, we're not gonna do the top view just because we're gonna be doing plans. So we're gonna leave the top view for plans. But what you guys can do front or set view, and you guys can do back if you guys want. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna do my front view. Then what I'm gonna do now, guys, is I'm gonna select everything. Then I'm gonna type make 2D, and then view. We want front, so projection, let's just keep it on view. I don't want the hidden lines. And yeah, we can leave this as it is, group the output, and then just hit OK. Because notice we have the 2D. So this is a 2D representation of your cube, right? It's just a 2D drawing. This is the 3D version. The drawings are just drawings, right? So they're 2D representations, right? So now let's go to a perspective view. So this is my front view, right? This is what I see on my front view. So now, guys, what we can do is we need to start moving the layers, or we need to start trying moving, yeah, the layers of information onto my elevation sub layers. Okay, depending on which layer, or yeah, which layer we're working on. Okay, so if you notice, when we created the make 2D, it created this layer. We don't want that. Okay, so later we're gonna delete this layer, but for now we need to keep it just because it's where my make 2D is. Okay, so now let's start working on this guy right here. So again, this is my first layer, my first layer that is the closest to you guys, right? So if we compare this is my front view, right? So this is the front view that I took. So if we compare the 3D with the 2D, on the first layer of information, the closest one to you, we can see this guy, which is this, or let me go ahead, yeah. Okay, so we can see this guy, which is this one. Then I can see this, which is this, this, this is this one is this one right here, and this guy right here is this one right here. Okay, no, I'm sorry. This guy, I'm sorry. This guy is this guy right here. So all of these are on the first layer. Why? Because it's the closest one to you, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this, all these elements, because they are on the first layer, they are the closest ones to you, which belong to this face right here. So I'm gonna select everything of this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click right here, and then I'm gonna change that information to my layer 1 just by clicking on layer number 1. So that just like that, you guys can change things, elements from one layer to another. Look what happened right here. So uh, if we select if we select this guy right here, you guys are gonna see that it's under my elevations layer or parent layer, and then it's on my layer number one. But if you guys notice, layer number one is red. So what happened? So if that happens to you guys, what we have to do is we have to select everything, and then we go to properties, and then right here where it says layer, no, right here, I'm sorry, right here where it says display color, we're gonna do by layer. So if we unselect this, now it's gonna turn red. And now we know it's under the correct layer, right? So now what happens to this guy right here? To this diagonal right here? So it starts on the first layer of information right here, and then it ends on the second layer of information, which should be right here, right? So this guy is on the back. So I'm not gonna complicate myself. I'm just gonna move this to my second layer, layer number two. I'm gonna select this, then move it to my layer number two, and there you go. So uh, there's your first elevation, guys. So you guys need to remember. So now what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go ahead and do not my right elevation, but I'm gonna do the left one. So set view, then left. So I'm gonna do this one right here. So this is the front one, right one, and then this is the left. So I'm gonna do my left. So I'm gonna select my cube. I'm gonna select my cube, and then select right here where it's set on the left viewport, and then again make 2D, and then hit OK. Okay, good, good, good. So now what's happening? So we have a plane right here, guys, right? So basically this is my left view. So all I can see, because I don't have any diagonals or any information on the back, but this plane right here, which I'm gonna do right now. So I have this plane, which is this one right here, and then I have these two planes, or this plane on the back, which are gonna be these rectangles right here, but they are on the back. So I need to find a way to represent that on the drawings, right? So in this case, I'm gonna do hatching, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move all this information because it's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, which is the frame, and then we have these two horizontal guys right here. So I'm just gonna move this to my first layer. Remember, if the color doesn't change, we need to select everything, go to layer, to properties, and then display color, let's do by layer. So now everything's gonna turn red because we moved it to the first layer. Now we're gonna go ahead and select my second layer, and then we're gonna represent this with hatches. Well, the planes with hatches, okay? So I'm gonna do hatch. I'm gonna take a hatch. Then boundary, yes. Now we select everything, enter. And now it's gonna let you pick it's gonna let you click inside the regions that you guys want to do the hatches, okay? So I'm gonna click, so this guy right here, this plane right here, it's still on the first layer of information, so I'm gonna keep it on my layer one, and then I'm gonna select my hatch, hit enter, and now it's gonna ask you which hatch do you want. I'm gonna do this one, then I'm gonna rotate it 45 degrees, and then scale, I'm gonna do 0.5. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it, or I'm gonna do 0.75, and then hit OK. You guys can, this is up to you guys. This is however you guys wanna do this. That's fine. Okay. Then we hit OK. Now we have this plane represented with this hatch, right? And since this plane is on the first layer of information, remember, first one, then we have the second one, then the third one, and then the fourth one, which is all the way on the back. And in this case, we have a plane all the way on the back. So what I'm gonna do now, guys, is I'm gonna represent this guy right here all the way on the back. So it's not on the second layer, right? Because we don't have anything on the second layer. It's not on the third layer because we don't have anything on the third layer. It's all the way on the back, on the fourth one. So I'm gonna select this layer right here, and then again, I'm gonna do a hatch. So hatch, select everything again, enter. We click on these two rectangles, hit enter. And now, if you guys want, you guys can do any other hatch, but just to keep it a little bit uh more clean or cleaner, so I'm gonna leave it as it is, but in this case I'm gonna go down to 0.4, right, just to make the lines closer together, just so we can differentiate that, and then hit OK. So there we go, guys. We have elevation, my front elevation, and then I have my left elevation. Okay, so now we can go ahead and delete the make 2D layer. We're gonna keep doing um make 2Ds, but for now I'm just gonna delete it. So I'm just gonna move these guys up here. Okay, now so I'm done with my elevations, right? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start working with, I'm gonna do my section. I'm gonna do my section. Okay, so how do I do my sections? So again, we click, we can, um, let's go ahead and compress this. I don't need to see it anymore for now. So I'm gonna create a new layer, and this is gonna be my section. Remember, sections, guys, are horizontal. No, not horizontal. I'm sorry. Sections are vertical cuts of your projects. So we're gonna do a vertical cut. Okay, so section. Then we're gonna keep working with this same system. So uh, again, I'm gonna do 4 layers. Okay, 4 sub layers representing 4 different levels of information. So this is, let me just rename this guy right here. So layer 1, layer 2, then we have layer 3, and then we have layer 4. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and use the same color, so red, just to keep it consistent, guys. It's just my way of working. You don't have to work this way, but it's the way that I find um more efficient for me to work. Okay, so blue, then layer 5, I mean 4, it's gonna be magenta. So again, I'm keeping the same colors. So now sections. So I'm gonna do a section, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna do my section cutting through here, right here. Okay, so I'm gonna do my section cutting right here on my of my I'm gonna cut my cube right here. So I'm gonna be working in my front view, right? Because I wanna be cutting through here. So this is my front view. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on my front view. So click on the viewport, on the front viewport, and then we're gonna do something called clipping plane, and then we're gonna create. It's asking you to select the first corner of a rectangle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and create a window around the cube. Okay, so this is what we want. And you guys are gonna get this guy right here. This. And then if we move it, guys, so right now it appears that it's, I'm sorry. So if we move it, look, right here, you guys are gonna notice that, look, right there, now we see this drawing or this, yeah, um, this from this viewport changing, or we have, yeah, changing the object, right? So, and then if we move it back, we're gonna see this guy moving. So this is what we want. But what happens right here? Why I cannot see it right here or on my top view? So we have to activate the clipping plane on those viewports as well. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select my clipping plane and then go to properties and then views clipped. Let's do perspective so we can actually see what we're cutting through. Let's do top view as well, and we don't have to do the left one, so that's fine. Okay, so again, remember, this is my clipping plane. So I'm gonna move it back. So I can manipulate, I can move the clipping plane from my top view. It's way easier, and that's where the gumball comes into play. You guys can move it just by clicking on the arrows and then drag them. Okay, up and down. So I'm gonna cut my section right about here. So I'm gonna move it right here, and then I can see how it changed right on my perspective. So I can actually see where I'm cutting through. So sections, guys, are kind of, I don't want to say tricky, but we need to work a little bit more on them to clean them up to actually show the correct way of cutting these guys, or or I'm sorry, to show correctly the cut that we're doing, right? So once you guys have your clipping plane where you wanted to cut your cube, again we're gonna go to from view. I'm gonna select my cube and then again make 2D. So make 2D, enter, and then okay. Now it's gonna give you this guy right here. Mm, okay, hold on, guys. Give me just 1 second, cause something's going on. I'll be back in a second. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. So I know what happened. So this is Rhino 8. I've never had this problem in Rhino 7, but if for some reason this happens to you, this is how to fix it, right? So once again, we're gonna select the front view because that's the cut that I want, and then I'm gonna type make 2D, and then make sure this is checked. Clipping plane intersections. I don't even know if this is an option on Rhino 7, but if for some reason it's not checked, make sure it's checked, and then now just hit OK, and then you guys are gonna have this guy right here, which is what we want. Okay, so now we need to define we need to, again, just as we did on the elevations, we need to change everything to its corresponding layer. Okay, so now what do we have? We have uh so we're cutting, just to make it easier for us, guys. I'm gonna move, yeah, before I move anything to a layer or anything like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and select everything, and then I'm just gonna make it black. So display color, let's do custom, let's do black. So now no, you know what, I'm sorry, guys. Select everything, and then we're gonna do by layer. So by layer, and now I'm gonna start identifying the cuts. So just you guys are gonna have to go back and forth on your top view and your perspective. So I'm cutting through these guys, this, this, this. So basically, wherever you guys are cutting, you guys are that's gonna be your first layer, okay? Because that's where the cut happens. So I'm gonna select that guy, and then I need this one, I need this guy right here. So nothing's happening right here. So I'm gonna select this one, and then I know I'm cutting through this plane right here, and now I'm cutting through these three guys right here, and now I'm cutting this, right? But this is not correct because this I'm cutting through this guy, which is this guy right here, and the plane is intersecting. So we need to clean that up right now. Okay, but for now, I'm just gonna identify all my cuts, and then I'm gonna move them to the corresponding layer, which is layer number one. So now I have this guy, which is this one, and then lastly I have this guy, not lastly, but second to last, and then not second to last, but yeah, you know. So now I have not that guy, so I'm gonna unselect this guy. I'm gonna go back to this one right now. So this, which represents this one, now I have this, then I have that guy right there. Again, this shouldn't be intersecting right here, so I'm gonna fix that right now. So click right there, and then once you guys have all the cuts selected, we're gonna change them to section, and then layer number one, and now everything's gonna change to red. So if I select this guy, it's selecting everything, so I don't want that. So what I want to do is um I just want this guy and this. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explode it. So select it and then explode. That way we have okay, explode. I'm sorry guys, let's explode. Oh, maybe it's grouped. So I'm gonna do okay, 7 curves. We couldn't explode them, so let's try to group it. Okay, yeah, it was grouped. So if it doesn't let you explode it, it's because it's grouped. Okay? So now we have different segments. So and now I know that I'm cutting through this guy right here. So I'm gonna select this and then I'm gonna move it to my first layer, which is my cutting layer. Okay? So there we go. Now what else do we have? So on my second layer of information, I have this guy because it's on the second one, and then I have this guy right here. Okay, so this and this guy are gonna be on my second layer of information. So right there. Okay, and now so this guy right here, this one right here, which is this one, it's on the third layer of information. So I'm gonna move it back here. What else do we have? I believe that's it. And then everything else, these guys, which are this, right? And then why do we have a line down here? Because we can see it down here. So this guy right here represents this line right here. So, and then it's all the way on the back, which is on the fourth layer, right? So I'm gonna move this to my fourth layer. What else? Everything else, it's on the fourth layer. Yeah. So yeah, these are on the fourth layer. This guy right here as well, this one right here as well, and then um, Mm, yeah, so it's on the four layer. They are on the four layer, and then this guy, it's part of this one, this diagonal right here, so it's gonna be on my second layer. So there we go. Now everything it's on the correct layer. So now we need to do some cleaning of the drawing, right? So I'm gonna select everything, and then I'm gonna ungroup everything, explode, and everything, right? So that way we have just different segments, okay? Just to make it easier for us. So now, remember, we have this plane right here, which is this one right here. But this plane, this shouldn't happen. Okay, so that's why you guys see this guy right here in the middle. So we don't want that because they don't intersect the structure. The planes do not intersect the structure. So what I want to do is I'm gonna select everything and then trim, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this guy right here. I don't need this guy right here. And I believe that's it. Okay, so there we go. There you guys have your uh your section, right? So now just as an extra information or layer of information, I'm gonna create a new sublayer. This one I'm gonna do hatch cut. So that represents I'm gonna hatch whatever I'm cutting through. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it black. I'm gonna select that layer and then I'm gonna go ahead and hide all this. That way we're just left off with the actual cuts. So I'm gonna select everything and then hatch, enter. Then I'm gonna select inside of each one of my cuts. Okay, so that, that, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Once you guys finish, we just hit enter. And then I'm gonna leave it like that. And then this time I'm gonna do zero point 0.2 or zero point 0.3 and hit OK. So now if I go ahead and turn everything back on, you guys are gonna see your section, okay? And the cuts are being hatched to really show that those are the cuts, okay? The section cuts. So there's how you guys do the elevation, the section. The same thing applies with your plan, okay? But instead of doing, yep, give me just 1 second. Let me go ahead and move this guy right here. So I'm just gonna move it. I'm just gonna align them. So move from this corner to this corner, and then just move it just to align them. Okay. So guys, I'm not gonna do the plan just because it's the same idea as your section. Okay, but instead of doing a horizontal cut, what you guys are gonna do is you guys are gonna go to your left. Well, this should be right. Well, by default it's gonna be right. Remember, I just changed it to create my left elevation, but I'm gonna go back to my right. And then what you guys do is you guys can just delete the you guys can just delete the clipping plane, and then again, yeah, remember, let me go ahead and delete the make 2D because we already moved all the line work to its corresponding layer. So section, remember, you guys have to do another layer with its corresponding sub layer. So what we can do is we can go ahead and duplicate layers, contain sub layers. Yes, we want to copy the sub layers. And now this time we're gonna do, this is gonna be my plan. And then you guys are gonna repeat the process as we did on the section. Okay, just for time, um, just to, just, I know I'm sorry, the video is already long enough, so I don't wanna make it longer. So, um, I'm not gonna do the plan, but it's the same way as you guys did the section. So we're gonna start on the top view and then clipping plane, enter. This time it's on the top view. Remember, we create the window. We create the window around the cube, and then now we can manipulate the clipping plane on the front view. Okay, so let's say that I want my clipping plane to be right there. I want my section. Let's go ahead and do my plan right there, right? And then if we go to properties, we go to perspective, and then we create the make 2D from the top view. And once you guys have it, then we can start doing the same process as we did on the section. Okay, so that's how you guys do sections and floor plans. Remember, this is horizontal, right? That's why we're cutting this way. And now, the last drawing that we're gonna do, guys, is a perspective. So you guys can pretty much pick any perspective that you guys want. So in my case, I'm gonna do something like, let's do something like that. Okay, so that's my perspective. Okay, and now I'm gonna save this view. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on this arrow, set view, name views, and this is gonna be my in your case, guys, Rhino 7 is gonna pop up a window right here, but it's the same process. You guys are gonna click on save view, rename it. This is gonna be my perspective, and then hit OK. Okay, so if for some reason, guys, you move your drawing or your model around or whatever, we can always go back by clicking on the arrow, set view, and then perspective, and it's gonna take you back right back to the perspective. So I'm gonna select my cube, I'm gonna click my perspective, and then um I'm gonna make it 2D, make 2D, and then hit OK right here. Make sure it's perspective. There we go. Okay. Now it's gonna create a drawing for you guys. Okay. So now, very similar to what we did. So on the rest or on the other drawings, again, I'm gonna create a new. I'm gonna create. I'm gonna duplicate my plan. So duplicate layer, and then just like one the sub layers. I'm sorry. Yeah, and then this is gonna be my perspective. Okay. So guys, on perspectives, line weights, we don't really use line weights. Okay, but I'm gonna show you some techniques, right? Which are gonna, which are gonna help you on your presentation board graphically, right? So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go ahead and we don't really have line weights in terms of different depths, right? So we only represent depth on sections and elevations, okay? And plans, not on the perspectives. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select my drawing, then I'm gonna move it to my uh, layer number 1. Okay, remember, if the color doesn't change, we just go back I'm sorry, to settings, and then display color by layer. Now everything's gonna turn red. So we go back to layers, we delete this guy right here, and now, guys, we wanna follow what we have right here. Okay, so hatches, I'm gonna delete this guy, and then instead, well, not delete it, but instead I'm gonna name it uh outline. Okay, so I'm gonna double click on the outline, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything, and then I'm gonna type curve boolean, and then I'm gonna click outside, and that's gonna give you the outline of your drawing. That's what we want, because later, guys, on your presentation boards, this is gonna look very, very good. when you guys are doing this drawing. Okay, so if we select right there, we know it's good, right? That's good. So we can go ahead and I'm gonna hide it, and then I'm gonna ungroup everything. I'm sorry, forgot to do it. So ungroup it. So now, guys, layer one, and my layer one, I'm just gonna leave all my line work. And then on my layer two, these are gonna become hatches for my planes. So in this case, I have three different planes: the magenta, the cyan, and the blue one. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. So layer number one is gonna be uh, my magenta, planes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start hatching. So hatch, and then I'm gonna select this guy because it's this one. Then I want this guy. Then this gets a little bit tricky right here because now we have this guy right here, this guy, this guy, this guy. These are all part of the place, right? Then we have this guy, this one, and this one. Those are gonna be my magenta materials or plane. There we go. We can just let's go ahead and match it. Okay, remember we already did some drawings right here. You know what? No, let's just leave it like that. We're gonna leave it like that. These are gonna be I don't know, maybe, yeah, let's leave it as 0.3. And then I believe the rotation is fine. You guys can play around with the rotation and the scale to differentiate all the planes. So for this, I'm just gonna leave it like that, right? And then I'm gonna go to layer number 3, and then again hatch, hatch, and now I'm gonna do this cyan plane right here. So it's gonna be this guy, this guy, this guy right here, and here. And I believe that's it. And this guy right here. Yeah, I believe that's it. So enter. Now I can go ahead and maybe do 35 degrees. And then maybe this one I can make it, I don't know, maybe 0.2 and hit OK. That way we are identifying the planes, right? And then lastly, I'm gonna do my blue one. So I'm gonna select everything back again, and then not make 2D, but head. And then I'm just gonna start clicking on these guys right here. So that one, that one, that one right there, that one, and that one. Then okay. Now I'm gonna do maybe 55, and then this one I'm gonna do 0.4 or maybe 0.5, and then hit OK. That way we have identified the planes on my cube and everything on this drawing, right? And this is what we want. So yeah, guys. So that's how you guys do um sections, elevations, plans, and perspectives. Of course, we're missing the plan right here, but that one you guys are gonna do it on your own. So once you guys have this, guys, on their corresponding layers and everything, so this is what I want you to do. So I'm gonna move it back here. Please align them, and then I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna name it annotations, and then we can, well, turn annotations turn off. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a rectangle right here, and then I'm gonna do text, this one, and this text, the first, this one right here, it's gonna be my uh drawings. Okay, so I'm gonna move it right there, and then if it's too big, just click on it, and then you guys are gonna see these squares right here. Just click on any of them, press and hold shift, and then drag them in to make it uh smaller. Okay, so those are my, let's name them um original drawings. Original drawings. Right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a copy of these guys. So I'm gonna select everything, Alt, hold it, and then drag them down. These are gonna be my laser cut drawings. Why? So the difference is that if you guys notice, the hatches are kind of like solids in a sense. Not solids, but they're not individual lines. But for laser cutting, engraving and everything, we're gonna need these lines to be all individual lines. And then the problem right now is that the laser cutter, as it is right now, is gonna read this as a solid, so it's just gonna burn everything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything. I'm gonna ungroup everything. I'm sorry, ungroup, and then explode. Enter. So what this is gonna do is gonna explode their hatches, and now every single hatch is gonna be a individual line. Okay. One more thing on this one, on your laser cut drawings. Uh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I forgot to move this guy right here. So I'm just gonna do it again. Okay. So on the laser cut drawings, you guys don't need the outline. Remember, it's only this only goes on the perspective, so you guys don't need the outline, but you do need it on the original drawing. So I'm gonna select everything again, and then curve boolean, enter, then click outside, and then just hit enter, and there you go. That's what you guys want. You guys want this outline, okay? So yeah, guys, that's how you guys do the drawings. So on the next video, we're gonna keep working. We're gonna go to part number 4, which is going to be the waffle structure.